Hi guys and welcome to Brit Talk English. Oggi guarderemo come fare le domande nel present simple con una tecnica molto semplice. Anche se tanti studenti di inglese riescono a capire le domande, quando si tratta invece di crearle è un'altra cosa. Quindi questa tecnica che sto per farti vedere è importantissima per tutti i livelli alla fine di esprimersi in modo fluente ed efficace. Prima di iniziare non dimenticare di iscriverti al mio canale YouTube e attivare anche la campanella per non perdere mai una lezione. Are you ready? Let's go! So before we start, let's look at our top 10 question words. Which of these question words is used for quantity, for a place, for a reason, for a thing from a selection, from a method or manner, for a person, for time, for possession, or for frequency? Number 1, what? What is used for, well done, a thing? Who is used for a person? Fantastic. Where is used for a place? Why is used for a reason? When is used for exactly a time? Which is used for a thing from a selection? Well done. How is used for a method or a manner? Excellent. Whose is used for possession? How often is used for frequency? Fantastic. And how much or how many is used for quantity? Excellent, well done. Okay, so we know what our question words mean, but how do we create questions in the present simple? Let's imagine I want to know why you study English. Cioè vorrei sapere perché studi l'inglese. We can use the word quasi to help us. So the QU stands for question word, such as who, what, when, etc. A stands for the auxiliary verb do or does. If we use the subjects I, you, we, or they, we use do. If we use the subjects he, she, it, we use does. S is for the subject and I is for the infinitive without to. So watch, play, listen, etc. At the end of the question, we can put the rest. So, you study English why? Our question word is why. Our auxiliary verb is do because we are using the subject you. The subject is you and the infinitive is study and the rest English. Why do you study English? Perfect. Let's look at some more examples. He wakes up when? So our question word, when, our auxiliary verb, does, because we're using the third person, he, so when does, the subject, he, the infinitive, wake up. When does he wake up? They live where? Again, the question word, where, auxiliary verb, do, subject, they, infinitive, live. Where do they live? You travel to work how? Question word, how, auxiliary verb, do, subject, you, infinitive, travel, and then we can put on the rest, so to work. How do you travel to work? And just to look at some more examples, you go to the gym how often? So how often is our question phrase or question word that we can put at the beginning. Our auxiliary verb is do, our subject is you, and our infinitive is go, with the rest to the gym. So how often do you go to the gym? So just to look at one final example, we send the letter to who. So our question word, who, goes at the beginning, auxiliary verb do, subject we, infinitive send, then we have the rest, the letter and the preposition to. So our prepositions in questions in English go at the end of the question. So prepositions such as to, from, for, with, these all go at the end of the question. Let's look at another example. You go to the park with who? So with, we have another preposition. Who do you go to the park with? So prepositions always at the end of the question. Okay, so now it's your turn. Practice making questions with quasi. Can you transform these words into questions? You can pause the video and we will look at the answers together. So, are you ready? Number 1. Where do you go on the weekend? Number 2. Who do you spend your weekends with? So remember, the preposition goes at the end of the question. Number 3. How does she relax on the weekend? So don't forget, third person she, we use the auxiliary verb does. How does she relax on the weekend? And the final question, number 4, what do they eat on the weekend? Fantastic, well done guys. So our magic word, quasi, works with all questions and all verbs in the present simple. For example, what time do you go to school? When do you listen to music? How do you make your soup? But with questions with the verb to be, we change the auxiliary to am, is, or are. For the subjects I, we use am. For he, she, and it, we use is. And for you, we, or they, we use are. Questions with to be do not need the infinitive. So instead of quasi, we have quas. Let's look at some examples together. What is your name? What are her hobbies? What are our plans? Where is her house? What is their favourite film? Where are you from? So pay attention, prepositions go at the end of the question. So it's your turn to practice questions in the present simple. Can you transform these sentences into questions using the auxiliary verbs do, does, or am, is, or are? Vediamo se puoi rispondere prima di me. Okay, number 1. She goes swimming where? Where does she go swimming? Perfect. Number 2. His best friend to be who? Fantastic. Who is his best friend? Lovely. Number 3. You know my secret. How? How do you know my secret? Excellent. Number 4. Your anniversary to be when? When is your anniversary? Excellent. Number 5. Their favourite meals to be what? Perfect. What are their favourite meals? And our last question, we work on Mondays. Why? Excellent. Why do we work on Mondays? Perfect. So now I want to look at open or closed questions. Open questions start with a question word and can be answered in many different ways. For example, when do you go to the office? I could say, I go to the office on Mondays and Wednesdays, or I go to the office every morning. So there are many different ways to answer open questions. Here are some more examples. Why does she talk so loud on the phone? Who is your favourite band? So far, finora, we have looked at open questions. Closed questions start with an auxiliary verb and have only two possible answers. Do you know the answers? Yes or no, exactly. So, for example, do you study at night? Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. Are they from the UK? Yes, they are. Or no, they're not. Does he eat meat? Yes, he does. Or no, he doesn't. As you can see, closed questions start with the auxiliary verb, so we do not need the question word for closed questions. So what happens to our quasi structure? Let's have a look. Quasi becomes asi. So let's look at some examples. Do you like your teacher? Are you from Paris? Do they drink coffee? Does she have a phone? Is he tired? Perfect. So how do we respond to closed questions? Come possiamo rispondere a queste domande? Come forse sai già, e come visto nell'ultimo slide, non diciamo semplicemente yes o no in inglese, perché può suonare un po' diretto, un po' scortese anche a volte. Quindi bisogna aggiungere il verbo ausiliare. Yes plus the subject plus the auxiliary. For example, yes, we do, yes, I am, or no plus the subject plus the auxiliary plus not. So, no, they don't. No, we aren't. The auxiliary verb that we use comes from the auxiliary verb used in the question. Quindi il verbo ausiliare che useremo viene da quello già usato nella domanda. For example, do you like the teacher? Yes, I do, or no, I don't. Are you from Paris? Yes, I am, or no, I'm not. Do they drink coffee? Yes, they do, or no, they don't. Does she have a phone? Yes, she does, or no, she doesn't. Is he tired? Yes, he is, or no, he isn't. Perfect. So now I want you to challenge yourself to say the answer before me. Quindi prova a dire la risposta o le risposte prima di me. Do you like learning English? Yes, I do, or no, I don't. Are you from Italy? Yes, I am, or no, I'm not. Do your friends drink tea? Yes, they do, or no, they don't. Does your neighbour have a pet? Yes, he or she does, or no, he or she doesn't. Is your city big? Yes, it is, or no, it isn't. Fantastic. Really good work, guys. So let's have a look at what we have learnt today. Guardiamo quello che abbiamo imparato oggi. So for open questions that are regular, we have quasi question word plus the auxiliary verb do or does plus the subject plus the infinitive without to. For example, where do you go on holiday? For open questions with to be, we have quas, question word, plus the auxiliary verb am, is or are, plus the subject. For example, where are your parents? Excellent. Prepositions go at the end of the question. For example, where are you from? Who do you go on holiday with? So let's look at our closed questions. For closed questions, we do not need the question word. For example, do you play an instrument? Are they in Greece? To respond to closed questions, we can use yes plus the subject plus the auxiliary, or no plus the subject plus the auxiliary plus not. For example, yes I do, no I don't, or yes they are, and no they're not. Really good work guys, fantastic! So thank you so much again for your hard work today. Se hai delle domande puoi scrivermi nei commenti o puoi anche trovarmi su Instagram, Facebook e TikTok. Puoi anche trovare il link per i compiti e il riassunto della lezione nella descrizione di questo video. Continua così e ci vediamo alla prossima!